Howdy, everybody. How's it going out there in YouTube land and out there in Kentucky and other places like that? Wherever you may be today. Yeah, so probably, oops, I gotta turn my light on. You was forgetting some. There you go. Now you can see me a little bit better, just a little bit. Hide in the dark. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, it's been a great time, I think, today. And just lately, I've been trying to install NixOS on this laptop over here. My old Acer 510. And yeah, so I got that Acer laptop, and it has Peppermint on it, is what it has. And I've been trying to install Nix package manager on it, and apparently there's a few differences between Slackware and Peppermint. Who knew? But yeah, so anyway, we got howdy Larry, how it goes over there, and where you at anyway? I can't remember for sure. I think it's maybe in Arizona somewhere. All right, close. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I kind of got Nick started installed on here, but I gotta probably download packages and stuff, but I can't run them. I think it's because some of the issues I'm having with getting the what do you call it? The yeah, yeah. My mind, things slip out of it pretty easy nowadays. It seems like. So we got Larry here watching. California. Somewhat closely, it's right side of the country. Yeah, so you got mountain time, I mean Pacific time over there. And so it's 5 o'clock over there, 6 o'clock here, 7 o'clock in Steve's time, and 8 o'clock in Eastern time. Yeah. So let's figure this out here. So anyway, we got that going. Now I got one of my brews in bringing today. Well, I asked Peter if he had a specific brew that he liked, a specific beer that he liked and stuff. And he liked some kind of, I can't even pronounce the first part of it, request. Hi Steve, how it goes over there? Good to see you again over here. Yeah, so anyway, I asked Peter what brew you like best and stuff like that. I was curious about Scottish beers, so he recommended one. I can't pronounce the first part, but it ended in truth. I can pronounce truth parts. Requestal truth or something like that. It starts with R and got ist on the end. That's all I know. But anyway, so I went to look for a store, look for that one. I didn't find that one, but I did find this Scottish beer called Laughing Lab. Yeah, so it's Bristow Brewing Company, as you can see there. And speak of the devil, not Steve's very own. Yes, it's Steve's very own. No aliens today, says Steve. Nope. Hopefully that's good. I checked and rechecked and did some tests on it to make sure it's going to work right today. First out of the box, and so it did so far. Never know about these things. So if you're laughing, it might be because you're drinking Laughing Lab beer. Start acting like a dog too. So, any news from the crew out there today? What's going on out there? Yeah, we got, like I said, I was trying to install Nix on Peppermint here. I had problems with it, and I still have problems with it, sorta. But, but yeah, that is what it is, huh? So I'm gotta still figure out what file to put that in so that I mean I got it to where I can run Nix on the command line and stuff like that, which is good, but I can't start it from desktop environment. When I creates a desktop, it moves the desktop file over. I can do that much, but it won't start it. All it is me can't find it there, which makes me think the path is not set in the system itself. Probably need to set that in the etc slash profile or profile.d or something like that. I tried that, but didn't seem to work there either. So anyway, today we're going to look at Fedora 36 beta version. See what that looks like. See what changed in it. I know one thing that changed in KDE, at least on the, I also installed on here OpenSUSE, but, and I was going to, I think, yeah, I did. I installed up here, KDE version of OpenSUSE up there. And everybody looks at Gnome on Fedora because it's kind of the flagship of Fedora, so it's understandable. So I thought I'd look at KDE just for a change of pace, you know. So we'll do that today. And we probably ought to get cooking on it so we can get it started thing. Now, that's one thing I know in OpenSUSE. It seemed to take a little while to process all the stuff. I mean, it took about, I don't know, well, of course this isn't the fastest computer in the world over here, but it's, yeah, it took about say about 30 minutes to install, something like that. Most of them took a while, but yeah, and that's kind of time going through all the steps and letting it go through all the steps that you got to put input on, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot more stuff to it. So I'm thinking if we don't do a distro next week on Linux Saloon, which, by the way, when Nate gets here, I'll might mention it, but anyway, Nate probably will mention that it starts at 6 o'clock night time, Mountain Time. I know that, but it's 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Steve installing Ubuntu 22.04 beta. Sweet, sweet Gnome. Yeah, he's a Gnome fan there. Steve is. I'm not much a Gnome fan. It doesn't fit my workflow very well, but yours pretty good apparently. Yeah, I have to tweak it a lot to get it to do what I want it to do, and so, you know, KDE easier. I prefer KDE over Gnome or even more XFC now. That's crazy because a lot of people think XFC is kind of this ancient desktop. In some ways it is, but I can make it do whatever I want to pretty much. It's a pretty flexible system. And it has the best, as I discovered when putting it on this laptop. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink of water. I discovered when I put it on this laptop, the Gnome system probably kind of had a, what am I thinking of there? The Gnome, oh, the XFC, yeah, had the best fractional scaling of any of them that I tried. The KDE's pretty good, but it had problems with switching screens and all this kind of stuff. But KDE had he said Gnome at, oh, Larry said Steve. It'd be 42, yeah. Gnome at 42. Oh, I see. Missed the 4 and hit the 2 with the shift key locked up. That should be 42. Yeah, Steve's very own Gnome 42. Yeah, I could have looked at 42, but everybody else looks at that one. I mean, I could have looked at Gnome on that one, but everybody's done it already, and I think KDE probably would be more interesting because they made some changes in KDE recently too that hopefully are reflected in this Fedora. So let's get busy and install the sucker, okay? Let's do that. All right, we're gonna click over here. Let's see. Well, first we're gonna go over. Okay, we're gonna go over here and look at our thing. It says Fedora 36 beta release. Find it on our download web pages below. I was hoping maybe they'd release the full thing. I think any day now or any time now they're gonna release the Fedora Workstation 36. They haven't fully released it yet. It's beta right now. So anyway, I went down here, went download now. Download now. And yeah, so the beta's right there, beta. So you download beta or you can download 35, whichever one you wanted at the time. So of course I'm downloading betas because that's what I said I'd do today. Yay. See what it says, renewing the beta version. Now Fedora is kind of a rolling release distro, and it's not as rolling release as Arch is, but it is rolling release in the fact that you don't have to update it. I mean, you do have to update it quite a bit, but but you don't have to reinstall what I'm trying to say. In one of those sessions. Yeah, well, you don't have to reinstall the whole ISO over and over again or do some kind of big giant update on the thing that could break things or something like that. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about there. So yeah, so you keep it updated like you should Arch or any of those rolling release distros, then you can just say, hey, it's good to go forever. So yeah, so it'll always be supported. So anyway, I downloaded this beta here, and that's where it went. Now we also have some release changes for 36, and they're quite hefty here. It starts up here at the top, list, and it's Fedora Linux 36 accepted system-wide changes. And these are all the release changes with Bugzilla tracking. Self-contained changes. So yeah, a lot of them, we won't go through all those here. You can look on those here, but we'll see if we can notice any of the changes that are more specific to it. Have you used Fedora in the past? Matter of fact, I had 35 installed on my wife's computer while she was working at the college. She was online college. She did on her computer, and I had Fedora 35 installed on there, Cinnamon version, Cinnamon desktop. Probably should go on maybe somewhere like KD or something, but that's beside the point. So that's cool. So anyway, that's what we got there. All right. Okay, now here's OpenSUSE. I installed that. This hasn't installed to set it up and ready to go. It's got 4 gigabytes of memory, 2 processors, and I enabled UEFI on it, and I also enabled graphic acceleration. Also, I want to try something different on this a little bit if I can. So we'll start it up and see what we got. Okay. So that's the one that wants default there is test this meeting and start Fedora Workstation Live 36 beta. And so we don't need to do that. We need to do that. Now what I was going to do is go E. So I'm looking to see what the thing is in the images. CB label Fedora Live. Read live image quiet. So what if I wanted to do, I don't know, this might be a distro that would be too advanced for this, but I'm going to try and just see if I can do the VGA thing. Minimally max. I don't know enough about this. Minimal Emacs and stuff like that. Maybe we'll go on. Anyway, so we'll boot this up. Fedora. What I was trying to do, I wanted to put VGA dash equals ask on it. Now it's an old command. It says depreciated in certain distros and stuff, and probably Fedora is one of them, so I don't know if it would work on there even if I was able to get into it. But anyway, we're going to install this hard drive. Also try Fedora if you just want to check it out on the ISO and that kind of thing. So we'll go there and install the hard drive. Now I don't know if this will let me. I don't know if this will let me well, you gonna do it or not. So I clicked it hard enough last time. So yeah, Larry said he got 35 on one computer. I had it on one computer. I now erased and put Baron OS on it just for fun. It seemed like a more easier system for the wife to use, that kind of thing, is the normal saying. So yeah, I did that. So English, yep. United States, yep. And those other news, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana. I didn't know there was that many of those African countries that spoke English even. Okay. And of course you can type down there if you're concerned that maybe you want to make sure you got the right keyboard and all that kind of stuff. Language. So continue. And I want to proceed. Note this is a pre-release software is intended for development and testing purposes only. Do not use this software for any critical work or production. Well, we're not going to do it. Yes, I want to proceed. That's in case somebody downloaded it. I accidentally. It looks like I'm not going to get Gnome on this no matter what. So no options here to select your software system or that kind of thing. So I guess it's going to be Gnome for today. Now Steve's happy. So anyway, you can see English US keyboard. Yep, that's what I have. So I need to change that. It's got me in Denver time zone. Yep. So I got Mountain time zone. That's correct. And we just need to check off our installation. They've improved this somewhat, but this is some of the most confusing stuff that people have on here. They've improved it in the first time I tried Fedora and tried to install it. Yeah, I had it on automatic. So well, I'm on automatic. And so then it said, I would like to make additional space available. Wonder what that's about. That's weird. So anyway, I thought, so I guess that's what it is. So I hit done up here, and then it said there's not any room because I had to, like, it's on a real machine when I was doing this. So I already had another system on it, and it was doing, oh, really? So then I thought, well, I guess maybe I need to have more space available for that. So I typed this down there and hit done again, and it did its thing, and then it came back and said it gave me the same error. I went, trash. What's this talking about? So then I went and did advanced custom, and the same thing would happen. I go in there and delete all the partitions and stuff. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing at the time, who knows, but anyway, when I installed it and stuff like that, then it would always give me the error that it was too full to use the disk. So I basically exited out of the installer, went in and found that it had a gparted in there, and I went down and got gparted going, deleted it out, and then I went back and it worked okay after I emptied it out before I went into it. But now it's where at least you can just hit automatic and it'll make more space available. It does it. I did it one time on one of the other, I think one when I was selling on her computer. And so it seemed to work now, but it didn't work then. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing wrong, maybe something. But this is already empty since it's a new SDA or VirtualBox. And so I don't have any worries here. I can just go continue. It'll have it automatically figure out what all it's going to do. And So there it is. Now everything's ready. Begin installation's highlighted, so that means you can continue on if you want. And that's all the options it's going to give me. No, so usually on some of these there's more software options, stuff like that. We'll see what happens when you begin installation. So now it's installing it. Just enter all the username and stuff, and then the at the end of it, so the beginning, which is I think that's a change they already made on 35 or 34 or one of those two. I don't remember when they made that change, but anyway. Yeah. So now we can continue talking about whatever we want to talk about. So my next issue seems to be, I think I probably need to incorporate it into profile. I know that would work, but I'm not supposed to do that. I may do it anyway just because I can. I mean, the way to make sure it always took effect would it'd be system wide, but I'm the only one using the system, so yeah, it's a single user. So I don't know if that would present any conflicts or what, but I would probably install it in there and I would probably take incorporate the next file into etc slash forward slash etc forward slash profile dot. No, there's any dot there, just profile. Yeah, so that file has all of the codes and stuff, the initial global variables that your system starts off with. It's kind of like the thing, so it'd be global. I think that would make it system wide, because I think the problem is when you click on if I have my bash scripts and all that stuff, it's in bash RC. That's why I never put it there to begin with, but I wanted to make it a global issue. Then whenever you're outside of that, you're not using a terminal or a console. I remember what it was. Then you have problems with with it not setting the. I mean, Bash RC only loads up variables if you're using a terminal or something. If you're not, if you're just using, if you're now what I probably should do. I could I might be able to do that. Have to add it to desktop files though to do that. It'd be easier just to have it set up to where it's supposed to automatically set to install for the thing. That's why it's stuck in dot profile in my home directory originally. Worked for Slackware, but apparently Peppermint OS uses some other file for its global wide variables per user at least than Bash RC or something like that. So it's all in bootloader now, even though it looks like it's not done yet. It's all in bootloader is usually one of the last things that happens. So I expect it to zip across here for long. The remaining part of the installation. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Seems like it's installing bootloader for a long time then. Hopefully it didn't get hung up or nothing like that, but so many times you just have to wait, you have to be patient. It finishes installing its own time, I think. So, haven't anybody else show up yet, huh? Yeah. No Nathan yet. Let's see. What else we gotta talk about? Oh yeah. I think I've mentioned it I mentioned it on Linux Saloons where I mentioned it, I think. Where my server issues. And I was trying to get Summit to work. First, big thing I was having to do is even just to show up on the list of possible places you could go on Samba. So I was messing with that there, zipped across there. That's running post installation scripts. And anyway, I was trying to get Samba to work. And then I finally got it to show up, so I was able to access the file and access the user and where I got a password, but then it still wouldn't show me anything. It kept saying it had error on it. Okay, but finish installation. So I'm booting new system and just finish setting things up. So anyway, I like this better than their other. Still kind of weird looking, but blobs of stuff. And probably I apologize to the Solus team, but probably the worst one I've seen is Solus blobs. Just blob, 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 blob. 3 big blobs of stuff over the screen. This one at least looks like some of the trees on mountains and sunshine, that kind of thing. It's kind of sort of what you call abstract art to a certain degree, I guess. So you got hung pieces over here. Yeah, there's somebody lazy and putting this together. I don't know which. But anyway, yeah, abstract or lazy. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm back to the server issue. And so anyway, what it boiled down to is I was, I just logged into. I just have to actually tell it I want to go reboot, huh? Alrighty. Now, where's reboot function on this sucker? Fred, how to reboot now? No, full screen. Oh, there it goes. It's rebooting now. And we'll go ahead and take off just to make sure it doesn't have any issues. And yeah, it's empty. Okay. And we'll start up Fedora. Now, yeah, so what it boiled down to on the server anyway was that I was using the share name. I wasn't using the share name to try to access it. I was using the folder name of the folder the share was pointing to. And it's because on the instructions I got from the Samba wiki on how to set up all this stuff, I used demo for the name of the folder and for the share name. So I assumed demo was for the folder, so I went with folder. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it to open up anything. Then Sleepy-Eyed Vince came on and I told him what was going on. He said, well, after I told him what I was trying to do, he said, well, you need to use the share name, not the folder. Oh, so I used share name. Sure enough, it worked. Got into it pretty easy. After that, I was able to set up with computers. Actually, I've actually have the pictures running on the computer right there, the Lenovo. I got paused for the moment, but yeah, whenever we want, we can start it back up and watch it go, watch photos fly by. Something to do when you don't have anything else to do. So anyway, so let's start setup. Setup will guide through making an account and enabling some features. We'll have you up and running in no time. Better. Just kidding. Start setup. So, location services. Now, I know some of them have this defaulted on and off, and I think like one of them we looked at, what was it, Steve, about Slackware or something like that, had it defaulted to on, off. One of them had it defaulted off, so if you don't want to know where you're located at, some places it enables some software to work better. You don't always have your web browser asking you for that information all the time. Automatic problem reporting. I'm not sure how much that telemetry was, so I'm going to turn that part off. Next. Third-party repositories. Yes, we want to enable third-party repositories. That's a new function I think on this, if I remember right. I remember hearing somebody else mention that. Is that yeah, you can just click this to enable third-party repositories instead of having to go in and enter in RPM Fusion and add those to manually on the terminal to that. You just click this. And it's okay. Now here's where you set if you want to connect now to Google or Microsoft or any of those other things. You can do that here. I'm going to skip that for this purpose. I'm not going to access any of those accounts while I got this VM cooking. So now we have a full name. Okay. Next, enterprise login. Is that if you wanted to create more like root directories and that kind of thing? You do enterprise login. Okay, password. As DT says, you want to create a strong, complicated password. This is a weak password. Try to add more letters. You want to create a strong and complicated password. Much better than one DT puts on 2 letters or numbers or whatever he puts in there. Who knows what it is, but so maybe hit next now. I think if you don't put a strong complicated password in it requires since you used to have to do this on the Anaconda installer on the first part of it, you had to hit done twice. We'll see what it does. If it just runs with it or says you gotta hit all done. It's gonna take it. So there you go. Welcome to Gnome 42 if you want to learn your way around and check out the tour. Okay, now I probably should take the tour since I don't know Gnome that well, but I'm just gonna go, no thanks, so I can get to it. And I kind of know Gnome to a certain extent because I've used it a little bit before, but I never used it as a daily driver type thing because I never have been able to get my head around it that easy. Partly because I tell you one of the reasons I don't use Gnome is because Parkinson's. I like setting up key bindings for everything and having it go that way, which you can do in Gnome, but yeah, it's kind of like activities, all stuff. So you hit, and when you hit this key, it brings up this, you go to applications. The thing I like about Gnome, sorry, Steve, is it spreads these things all over the place. They're not organized in any particular fashion. Matter of fact, there's one video I was watching pointed out, I think it was DT. He said this and this and the rest of the LibreOffice stuff should be centered either in a group like the utilities is, or at least organized or sort of like they were alphabetized or something, alphabetically organized on here. But anyway, just scattered around, no bit of thing on there. But you have some interesting things here. You have contacts, weather, clocks, maps, photos, videos, calculator, document scanner, utilities, LibreOffice Impress, terminal, calc, boxes, system monitor, Fedora media writer. That's like if you wanted to write a USB to something, an ISO to USB. Settings, LibreOffice Writer, help, rhythm box, cheese, cheesy cheese, text editor, and you can take a tour if you want to. So two workspaces open up here. You can type to search what you want, so that's helpful. But yeah, my normal frame is I have some things I have key binding set for, other things that I search, basically. Things I use frequently all the time, like it's a writer, of course, I use LibreOffice Writer, so I put a key binding on that all the time. I wonder how you do this. Let's see. Show details. Show me the details, huh? Oh, there it is. Alice Adventures Wonderland. Okay. It tells you thing, I see it. So that's the software thing they have. They automatically open it to the software center if you want to know more about it. Okay. Gotcha. Right. Help. So, yeah, this is interesting. I mean, as long as you don't have too many applications, I think it's be nice. That mess, it must be Fedora, Ubuntu, and is Alphabet. Yeah. Yeah, I know I've seen some have been alphabetical, some have been organized. Like, I think, I don't know, one Gnome version, I think it's Pop! OS before they switched over to Cosmic Desktop. Remember right, they had LibreOffice all in one group. There, somebody I saw that with, I don't remember who it was. Anyway, now let's see. Let's go to utilities. What I got in there? Okay, disk usage analyzer, connections, disks, characters, document viewer, image viewer, problem reporting, logs, fonts. The image viewer usually be in the category of graphics, not in utilities, but there you go. That's where they stuck it. So, yeah, one of the things since I have Parkinson's is that I don't like to click with the mouse anymore, and I have to. So yeah, when you have to click on things like so I have to go up here, click on activities, and then swap these. So yeah, set 2. If I remember right, it's dynamic workspaces in this, so I start files, this one. And when I click over here, go click over there. Now I suppose you probably could put the window manager like you can most of them. You can set this, but then you really can't. Let's open Software Center here. Oh. Okay. Then there's automatically another one over here that you can click on. Bring it up, or hopefully you can set key bindings for all these and bring them up. I don't know if there's a key binding for this, but we can find out. So every time you use the workspace, it creates another workspace on the right side. So it starts out with 2, and you can, yeah, pop is organized nicely. Yeah, I remember that mess. Yep. It is Fedora, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's one of the things I liked about Pop! OS. They tried to make it as user friendly as possible, and they switched to Cosmic. I don't like Cosmic Steve, but I loved it. because then I could just type in stuff and have it pop up. And I like KD because of that reason too. Or the K runner is really excellent. You only have to hit a key, you just start typing and away it goes, pops up. Yeah, you can get to any system file you want to easy that way. Let's see what I can do here. Type search, say you wanted to go. I guess probably like move those. Let's see. Let me try some keybind on this. See what works. Aha. I moved it back to the beginning. That was a function key and alt. Oh, so I press end. Home, that is. So end. Aha. Found the key bindings for this. Around. Yay. So anyway. Close that. And I just have to go in this mode before it'll go, yep. You have to be in that mode before it'll before you move anything around. So, anyway. What am I going to do now? Crap. Well, maybe we'll right click on there and see what option that change background out. Display settings. Now, one to its credit, it looks like it detected my display setting. Ideal, so I have to go to display settings like I thought it would. VMs, usually are bad about that. But it did got it all correct. There's where you can go to settings. Look at that in a minute, but we'll go change backgrounds. What backgrounds they come with the side box. One thing about Fedora, they do tend to have pretty nice backgrounds. A lot of times they do, at least. Not they do this time, but add pictures, dark. I like dark themes better than white. It makes it easier on my eyes. Boy, that's better. So, yeah, and it's really good. Yay! Now you're in settings when they come over here, so it's appearance, backgrounds. It's either white or colored picture so far. Oops. And disappearing pictures apparently. I guess maybe we're supposed to represent pictures of some kind. Okay, it's doing some weird stuff. Maybe due to Wayland probably or something. Is not working exactly correctly with this thing. So notifications. Okay, we'll go back to appearance, see what it does. Yeah, I don't think they have all those white backgrounds there. It must be pictures there. They aren't showing up for some reason. You can see a flicker there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are all pictures. You just can't see them. It's not showing them to me. Yeah, I probably have to switch over to X. I want to really see it. X11. So we'll go there. Oh, that was very weird, isn't it? So now in here, you got application, sharing, and power display. Power is what I always go to. So I turn all this power stuff off if I can. Okay, power mode, balance, power saver. Screen blank, nope. Never. Turn that off. Yeah, spinach, survey percentage. Sure, why not? 99%. It's plugged in, so it really won't matter. It says battery. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, displays, mouse, keyboard, printers, rural media, and daytime about. Let's see what about. Oh yeah, here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I said to use graphics. SVGA 3D build. Maybe why it's also might be why it's having problems. Probably turn it off. It's using Wayland. And virtualization is Oracle. Yeah, I need to do software updates too now. I forget those. Okay. And remember, that's one of the things I don't like. You think, oh, I don't have too many updates, and there's only like this, and plus 2 or 3 other things on there. And you hit download, all these things have like 50 more updates on in here before I even get to these. So sometimes tricks you that way. This is updates, installed, explored. It's just a software center basically. Gnome Software Center. So go ahead and do the updates this way. Just see if it works. See if a new user who doesn't really know that much about command line can update and manage your software with this very easily. Yeah, so while that's cooking, we'll let that cook. As he looks at this. And yeah, so here's my 11th Intel core. It's got 2 processors out of 8. There's a 50 gigabyte, 45 gigabyte disk thing, gigabit. Yeah. Of course, you don't know if that flickering can be due to other things too, like a bug or something. Since it says a beta, it's not a testing distro. Not set for solid out. So anyway, most of you are probably familiar with GNOME settings and stuff like that. I won't go over all this stuff, but yeah. You get there through that, or you can just restart an update. That one, hold on a second. That might be better. I know I was sort of mumbling there a bit, but I do that when I'm thinking. Restart an update. So I better go ahead and do that, I suppose. Restart and install updates. Now see, this is kind of like I've heard complaints about and you still use the option when you want to do it, so it doesn't force you to do it like Windows does, obviously. But it does do it on the update and downloads. It's good because my son wanting to know how to update this thing. He's got Garuda on his laptop in there. I've used that for his laptop. And he's like, I don't know how to update this. So what I did was I set a log on or log off. I think a log on, yeah. Log on script in the session and starter section of Garuda. And I think he uses KDE Plasma for its base tool set. The way I set is in there for I've created an update script and stuck it in there and logged and set it for log on. So it automatically updates every time it logs in. So you can always stay updated that way. He didn't, he would leave it, you can't leave those Arch-based systems for a long time sitting there without updates. Even I realized I went in there and said, you got like 400 some updates here, boy. Haven't you been updating? Oh, how? So I got him set so he didn't have to worry about it. So yeah, you can do it. You can do it in pretty easily, but yeah, this is a good way because it turns off system, updates, and reboots on it. So yeah, but the one advantage that a lot of people quote about Linux is that you don't have to reboot it every time you update. Now some people do, some people don't. And I just reboot it anytime I notice it installs a new kernel. Yeah, anytime it installs a new kernel, you definitely want to reboot if you want to use a new kernel. But yeah, I don't know. Larry says, I don't think I would like the Garuda update script. Yeah, mostly people wouldn't want it that much. But my son, he doesn't update otherwise, so I have to do it for him. He wanted to say, how come this can't update it automatically without me doing anything like Windows does? He's used to Windows back in the day. So I said, well, I can make it work, do that if you want me to. So he said, yeah, I love it. So I put it on there. But I think most of us probably would be like Larry. One line GRUD update script popping up every time you log into your system. So I mean, most of the time it'll probably go pretty quick and run, but thing is, you really can't just do no maintenance updates with Arch-based systems. You need to be able to go in there and merge your files, your new and save, pack new, and all those kind of things. Otherwise, those grow and grow and grow and dwindle less, and you have this giant project to do one day. Go, I don't know why it doesn't just put the new one in there, but I guess it's where you have scripts in there that okay, now I finally rebooted. Now it's on the other end of this thing. Ha ha. Now I got a login, yay. And now it's there. Black screen. Says, I should have just yeah, should have gone to. Should have said the same problem. Well, so problems with that might be a bug, might be wailing, might be XFC. Let's go XFC and see if it does the same thing or not. And let's see. I don't remember how to log out of this last time. Well, if there anything is problematic. Oh, apparently, Super 1 starts a calendar or something like that. Well, I hit Super 1 and Super 2 at the same time. I'm trying to move the workspaces. Looked like I didn't do it, but then it started up those two games. So apparently they're plugged in Super 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 0 is plugged in with certain programs that set keybind up. So, yeah. So I'd have to relearn new key bindings if I was going to do that because there are those where I'd have changed one or two. I assume we can change those in there. Oh yeah, I was looking for start a terminal. See if it can start a terminal. Control Alt T. Nothing. Now OTT had this problem too. Let's see, what did he do? Probably, I think he used Alt T. Oh, and anyway. Yeah. Let's go here. And terminal. How quaint. like Scotty on Star Trek 4 movie. How quaint. He types away like he's been doing it all his life. And removed. What I want to do here is you should be able to hit enter and then you should be able to change your, because my name pops up, should enter, should be able to change it, looks like down here. Yes, I have my option Gnome Classic on XOR, and Gnome on XOR. So this one, see what we got, if it works better, and maybe Wayland issues or something like that causing problems. No, appears to be some more Wayland issues. Appears to be issues with bug or something. It's not working very good on the background parts. Anyway, they usually do put very good backgrounds in their systems a lot of times. So just choose one and it'll turn it into whatever it is going to be. And it's okay, I guess. Interesting. So we got that. Now let's do, let's see, that. No, not installed. So let's do this sudo and install htop. Away she goes. And the only odd thing is that the defaults to no instead of yes on the Light app and all those other ones. Always default to yes instead of no. Don't know why they do that, but means you gotta type a yes in, because most of the time you're gonna say yes to these things. So now each top, run. Yeah, Gnome's using almost a gig, just shy about 50 megabytes of a gig out of 4 gigabytes of data we gave it, which is not great. It's not horrible. It's not the worst I've seen, but we haven't really started up running any programs there either. So yeah, so it leaves me with about 3 gigs of memory left over for the programs and stuff. I was creating a 4 gigabyte swap file out of the box. Swap file or swap partition. So that held back, I had to set whatever they decided to use on it. So Who knows what it is? And then you got our two little things running there. Looks like it's running with nothing else but H-top cooking on it. Looks like it's running anywhere from 3 to 5% of memory. Usually it's not that much. Got a lot of stuff around here apparently. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting because on it's interesting because on the come on brain work. I was gonna say it was interesting because on I don't remember now. Sorry, I have to think about it. I might come to my brain later. Who knows? Yeah, I noticed Gnome doesn't have a default terminal shortcut key. Should put in there. The super plus numbers. Oh, the bar at the bottom. Oh, I see. So in other words, this is 1, that's 2, that was I hit 1, and did that 2, 3, 4, 5. So I hit 5. Open the software center, and then open up the apps, though. So there's that. Now let's say I wanted to install this. Yeah, since I've also done accounting before, I could use to install this, but I think it's kind of a heavy program to install. Wouldn't take terribly long to do it, but it's not at all that great for an example. So let's look at what we can find here in Software Center. See OBS, we weren't going to install this one either, but I just want to see if we find it, what I got. Never put out like that game. OBS Studio, I guess I have in Studio. No. Now we had it installed third-party software in there. So, interesting. OBS wouldn't be third-party, it's all open source, I think. I believe it is. Well, let's try something different. Let's try Yee. You want to put stuff in? So one of these here is the Flatpak or Snap version of it, and the other one's the Flatpak Snap version or Depth version of it. One of those two. There's two of them, so the only way to find out, I guess, click on and see what they got. I don't like it when it'll make it clear which one they're running. But let's see which one it is. A little laggy on this because the virtual machine was only 4 gigs of memory. What? Software center may be heavy on that kind of thing. Anyway, I don't see where it says what runs in. Okay, let's look at that one. See. Oh, RPM right here. Yeah, we mean depth, so it's RPM. That's where you find it, right there. Also, you have the option of getting it from RPM. And obviously, the other one is something else. Flat pack. I wonder if they have to install a box or what, so let's try it. Install it. It's working. It's installing 4%, 5%, 6%. Yeah, flat packs take longer to install than the regular distros, but rare from rare repositories anyway. Like to see this Gnome, not familiar with Gnome boy working around a Gnome. Trying to figure his way around this thing. Gnome cancel. 4%. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like Flatpaks is installed out of the box and it's enabled. The flat hub is enabled and all that good stuff, so that's good. I wonder if there's any other version that offers. No, just Flatpak and what do we call it? Yeah, it makes you wonder what else installing. That's why I like seeing it actually on there so I can know what else installing. And so there may be a whole slew of stuff in there. Well, it sounds like it's coming. Uses GTK, so it's kind of a gnomish type app. So that's Genie, I guess, is Gnome, EA. And will anybody know what if it stands like it's just a name or is it a acronym or what? These acronyms are all capitalized, but since in the Gnome app it might be G might stand for Gnome and then ENI stands for something else. Genie. Of course it'd be Gnini. If it was Gnome type thing on it. Okay. Did I finish installing? It sure looks like Gnome software crashed. If you'd like, blah blah. Whoops. Maybe another bug in your system. Squish, 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 squish. So, yeah. Looks like I need a little work on the updater on the Flatpak updates or something there. Okay, so what else can we do in here? And knowing regular Gnome, classic Gnome, I guess I have this bar up here on the left side of the screen. But it took a little getting used to when I play around with it for a while, but it worked okay now. You have Firefox, your calculator, your files. Assume files is probably Nautilus. Be surprised with anything else. About files. Didn't say it's Nautilus, it says files. 42. Probably based on Nautilus, but it's probably changed up a bit. So, yeah. Too bad I don't see KDE in action. Suppose if I wanted to, I could probably download the other version of it. So it gives you options to install KDE. Usually server lets you install several different versions of things. But we'll probably have to wait until that happens. I think one of the things I want to do is try and see if I can do a shortcut key. Okay, so shortcut key, here we come. Okay. Okay, there you go. Settings. And we do shortcuts. Even a keyboard, right? And customize shortcuts. Yeah, that's probably something I didn't like about it. There was nothing in here, is there? How about that? Oh, well, these are just the launchers, availability, navigation, screen, summary, system typing windows. Like, let's do this. Okay, so look for maximize windows. I like to use Super M on this. So you click on that, set shortcut. Okay, so you add and press the key, so we Super M there, replace. Now if you want to maximize this window, you hit M. Or maybe when you close it out or something. And all four. Hit Super Q. Set. So you close that window and hit Super Q. And now let's do a terminal one. Launchers. Home folder, launch calculator, mail client, help browser, whatever. And I have a default name for that. So what you have to do is go down here to custom shortcuts. Add shortcut. Name. Terminal. Another key didn't come out in this without out of the box, but I know external. Try that and see if it works or not. Okay, super return to bring up terminal. Probably didn't do that right. Let's install Kitty. That's something to install. Okay, well we can go ahead and set that to work whenever Kitty's cooking. Oh, hold on. No, I know what it is. Gnome. Yeah, it's Gnome something else. No. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It's Gnome Terminal. Normally I'd set this so the automatic comes up bigger and bigger. Set it on settings. Oh, it went away anyway. Yeah, so here, settings, preferences. Here, general global, shortcuts, profiles, named. Here I increase font size by kicking this up there and add 15. Select. You have to click custom font because otherwise it won't open up when you click this. If you don't do that. We're going to make this bigger. We're going to make it 100 by 30 columns. Okay. Now, I'd like to so anyway, oh yeah, we're going to sudo kitty, no, DNF, install kitty. This one pay and then take on and install a tall. And it's a faster terminal emulator. You want it to go super fast. You have a lot of processing to do. Kitty's your terminal. Anyway, you can go into key bindings and set it for kitty. Just put kitty in there instead of GNOME terminal and it'll pop that up. Hi American Legend, how you doing? Okay, we'll see you Steve. See you Saturday. Hi American Legend. I really like Fedora a lot. Yeah, Fedora's a pretty good distro. I liked it when I used it. I've had it on my system. It's kind of one of those distros that is there, but it's also leader in what it does and that kind of thing. So I just gave, yeah, said Larry said GNOME doesn't have a default terminal key, which I kind of half remember doing from previous attempts when I used GNOME. But I'm not a big GNOME fan, so haven't ever really used it for a daily driver type thing. I'm just tested out on distros like this. So I like Kitty. I usually install Kitty on most of my desktops. This desktop, by the way, I have here is it's a framework laptop. This is all being fed through. You're seeing on the framework laptop, and I've got MX Linux on this one, version AHA, which stands for the more advanced high prophylactic. How do you say it? Prophylactic. How you doing? Yeah. So anyway, I've got this on framework. Hello out there, and yeah, Airy. How's it go, Aris? Ollie. Yeah, I remember Ollie. Aris, the other guy on that's head honcho over at Linux Saloon. Boy, time for another swig of water. And anyway, we have yeah, so it things there, and we're in Kitty from the terminal. So you see what, oh, this doesn't have 3.3 open now GL drivers. Well, maybe work underway on, but under X11, it seems like you need to update your drivers. Yeah, more than me watching. I'm late. Yeah. Now we've had Larry. Steve went to get his kid, so he's out for the rest of the evening. But yeah, he usually has to go get his kid from school or wherever he's at. I think it's not school, but some like karate classes or something like that. I don't remember what he's into. And yeah, I know where Trevor says I have two watching online. So I don't know if YouTube's really wrong, right or wrong. Usually I have Larry and Steve and Peter sometimes shows up and Nate sometimes. I haven't seen Nathan yet today, so he usually shows up. Steve usually shows up. Of course, he's left. And we have Aris here today. The Oz version, Advanced Hardware Support. So it's the Oz. That's how the dolphin pronounces it at least. Clear it up. Oh, with the GL drivers talking about. I know you're still here, Larry. Pretty sure you were, but of course you hadn't said anything for a while. But well, let's see. We can do that and see if it'll work. Open GL drivers. Auto remove. Make sure. Oh yeah, remove. A lot of these commands are the same in a lot of these distros, but sometimes there's little differences. You gotta make sure you're doing it right. Sorry, try again. Didn't like my password, huh? Again? Don't have a number locking on. There he goes. Let's see, SQ line. A couple of the 4 fonts. I don't know how that's gonna affect anything. Anyway, let's see. Maybe for some reason I didn't like running it. And one would open GL. You might know the command for finding out what your OpenGL drivers are. I know probably I can find out. Move setting. And moves down. And back. See if there's anything here. OpenGL. I don't see anything. We do need probably to do some more updates, so I think it's even though it's updated. Yeah. Even though I did some to update. Make sure our mirror is refreshed. Uh, uh, to install. Nothing. Okay, so all the pins resolved. Everything's checks out there. Nothing to do. Complete. And Kitty should be in here. There's Guinea, which we installed. It had an error, but it might still run anyway. Let's see if it runs. It pretty much installed it here, yeah. Even though it said there's error when it installed Guinea and it had an error issue, it still works. So it's all beta figuring out. They gotta figure out all those beta issues, I guess, in here. And see, Kitty probably tacked on the end unless there's like spots here. Yeah, it's that Kitty over here. Just didn't start. Yeah, apparently some driver update. Something wrong with Kitty anyway. Had this problem on another system too. The update broke it. Some. So over to. I think what we'll do is we'll go over to. We'll have to figure out where. Yeah, let's have to do it on. Let's see. Yeah, it's one thing I don't know for sure where you log out and log in on this thing. So there's a terminal. Yeah. Cute icon. Ollie says. Oh, it's cute. What icon? What icon's cute? Okay, we'll go back to Wayland, see if that works better on that thing or not. And you already said that. Okay. Tour. Yeah, through Kitty somewhere in here. It's over here for some reason. Round after utilities and for help. That makes sense? Nope. Probably some setting here you can arrange these alphabetically if you want to, so you can probably do that. I'm sure there's ways to do it. Doesn't seem to work on Wayland either. So, yes, I have 3.3 OpenGL drivers. It uses a graphics updater. Uses a graphics card to process things, so it has to have OpenGL updated too. And who knows? Well, you got the one terminal anyway, the Gnome terminal, which isn't too bad of a terminal. It'll get you by. So let's see what else can we do on here. I think this is about it on this puppy. Yeah, we've been going at it for an hour and a half, so let's see. Background issues was a bug there, and it wasn't due to Wayland, because it did the same thing on X11. We had a bug. And I could try it and see if it worked. Probably give me an error because it's a app we get. So maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Who knows? We can give it a shot and see what happens. Let's see. Sudo DNF update. Yeah, I think if you do this, maybe use some of the same options, but chances are it's something different about this one. Yeah, fix missing don't recognize argument. Yeah, you could fly through here and see what it is. Yeah, I'd have to have something to install though. Yeah, I'd have to look in the through all this only and see. I don't know, GPJ include. Um, yeah, I put that first one. Try to put the two dashes and put ref. I think is the abbreviation you use for refresh there. So repo. That could be handy to remember. See it broken as an option. Yeah, I don't really see anything here that's like fix broken. So if they have something similar to that, I'm not sure exactly what it is. Okay. Well, and I have to talk up about a bit so people can hear me better, hey? So I got the gain on this mic cranked up way on OBS, so should be able to hear me okay, I hope, but yeah. So, well, we can work at it later on, I'm sure, but we want to move on, I think. So we don't get people too bored with us trying to figure out stuff, and I don't see anything there that says some along the line to fix broken. Sure, there's a package and way to do it, but yeah, there's the obsolete certificates, RPM verbosity, disable repos. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that says what it's talking anything. No auto remove. So refresh. So I don't see anything like that on here. So yeah, we'll figure it out later, I guess. If I did some research on it, I'm sure I figured it out, but y'all have to sit here and watch me do research. That's not very exciting. It's like watching paint dry. So there you go. So any updates we did, it helped the backgrounds on Wayland to look any better. Nope, it's still all white. The one that's selected that's currently added is right there, apparently. So that's what that means. No text come out. Yay. Got a subscription. Almost 200 on my subscriptions. I'm trying to figure out something I can do, like paint my hair wet or something like that. Yeah. Take care. So yeah, you're welcome here anytime, American legend. And we'll do what we can here. Yeah, usually I don't fumble around. I'm not familiar with Gnome as well as some of the other Ds out there, like XFC and KD, Plasma, and Cinnamon. Those are the three I'm most familiar with. Then I have some familiarity with some that are based on Gnome, like Cosmic Desktop and for Pop OS, and Solus's Budgie, that kind of thing. So yeah. Yeah, this is obviously a bug here, all these white spaces when it's working for different, yeah, you can see it has this problem where it blanks out all of them. You select another one. See what we install. I have no clue what we install in here. Uh-oh, better make that go away. Turn your head, Peter, if you will watch this later on. Peter's got a aversion to wildflowers and stuff like that. We'll do this one. So you have to do this, see what it is. So that's not too bad. It's like a painting of some kind, just something like that. Looks like painting, like brush marks and stuff. There's nothing particular there. So, see, I don't know if we have anything else to show on here. Could show Neopets, but I think we've already seen that in the about screen. And it'll tell us news how many packages are installed on here. Might be worth to do that while I think about other things. Okay, Neopatch. Top 8 of it, right command, new batch? Yes. Let's do that. Okay. This Finance does that, and there it runs it for you too, boot. So yeah. So Linux 36. And say it's a beta pre-release, say pre-release beta. Virtual bytes, how many packages? It's got installed 1778 RPMs and 2 flat packs. Bash is 5.1.16. Resolution it chose, that's what I would have chose, so yeah. Gnome 42, Mutter, add await themes, icons and stuff. Gnome terminal. And my framework laptop specs. Give it 2 of my 8 CPUs. Cores. Threads, whatever you want to call them. And it says now I'm up to 1.1.48 megabytes been used out of 4 gigs. So yeah. I've heard that Gnome's not the best for use. That's one of the real things that I pop. I mean, if you have enough computer with enough power like I have my full, this computer has 16 gigs of memory on it, it probably would be a big deal. But yeah, if you have 4 gigs or 2 gigs, you can't run on 2 gigs very well. You wouldn't have much room for the rest of your stuff because it doesn't condense down like KD, Plasma, and Cinnamon do. Matter of fact, I think on this machine up here I installed KD OpenSUSE, and but you'll probably take a look at it next time unless Linux Saloon has a distro they're going to use instead for it. And yeah, pretty cool. So let's go back and talk about this a bit, and we'll have a chat about it. All right, how's everybody doing out there? Whoever's left here. Yeah. Eric says he hears me fine. Eric Ollie says he hears me fine. And I don't know whether American Legend or Larry left. I don't know who's left here. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this browse down Fedora Lane. Found a couple of bugs, I think, that we squished. Yeah, so bugs I'm sure everybody's aware about, but I'll wait later on and see if they get fixed, whatever. I mean, the background one's probably an obvious bug fix that needs to be fixed. So they're probably aware of that one, I'm sure. And the other one, I don't remember now what the other one was that we noticed. The Software Center, I guess. Oh yeah. We installed Genie on Flatpaks. That was Flatpak 2 version 2 installation Flatpaks had on there. And okay, Blanco Veneer's here. We can start a show. Yeah. Larry says we good. Hi, Barco. Yeah, it's good to have you here. And unfortunately, we're about to end the show because we've been going for an hour and a half or so. Actually, it's getting close to 2 hours. It's about an hour and 47 minutes, 45 minutes for long. And yeah, but you can always watch the whole thing over and see what when I end it, you can watch it and see what all I said or did or that kind of thing. If you're interested in Fedora and you want to look at the beta version of it, and you haven't had a chance to yet, not a bad version to look at. So, I'm trying to think of anything else I need to say. Oh yeah. So, what I'm doing is evaluating this Fedora. Would I use it? Probably I could and would use it if I could get a KDE version or something like that, or XFC version. Hey Larry, thank you for showing up. And yeah, so I would probably use it if I had XFC or KDE version of it. XFC for sure. I used XFC Fedora for a while on this laptop actually. So yeah, thought I was gonna stick with it for a while, but then I had problems with something else. Oh, that Selena Linux, say Linux, that thing, the authorization keep popping up all the time. I have to say, okay, click. And Barco only uses Arch. This is similar to Arch, and it is a rolling release, but it's more like Manjaro in that it's like more vetted rolling release. So each his own. But it defaults to Gnome. It's the only version the beta has is Gnome. That's their flagship distro. And yeah, I have some I went through and did most of Manjaro releases for D's in my whatever you call it, upload videos section. You can look at those if you're interested in looking through those. But Manjaro, I had this actually. I thought I installed Manjaro on this. I thought I was going to keep it for a while, but MX Linux enticed me too much, so I put an MX Linux on it. Currently thinking of replacing Peppermint with. Don't tell Steve this. Yeah, he's gone, so I could talk about it. Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking of installing Peppermint and replacing Peppermint with what was it? Oh, OpenSUSE. Yeah, because I had OpenSUSE on this laptop before, but the reason I didn't use it, or I used it for a while, but obviously there's no box that wouldn't run on it. And at that time I couldn't run VirtualBox on this machine because of issues. My backup laptop in case the framework keels over at some point or I have problems with it or something like that. Then so I have Peppermint on it right now, and I've had it been running for a while, for about 2 or 3 months, I guess it was. It's pretty good. I like it a lot, and there's little question marks here and there about this other thing. It's a distro they're working on it. It's the first version of it, so to speak. I mean, they've had other versions, but then they had the death of the main guy. I forget what his actual name is. His screen name was PC. I have it on here. I can't see it because I got the whole screen over covered with all my stuff there. But anyway, the PC spec. I don't know if there's anything else in there or not. Anyway, the main guy that was the main thing that held the whole thing together was like died on him suddenly 2.5 years ago. Steve can tell you this whole story, I'm sure. And that kind of thing. And Mark Reeves, Larry said, yeah, Mark Reeves. And so there's some question whether it's going to even continue or not, or if it's going to have problems later on and that kind of thing. And anyway, they pulled it together. They developed a new team, and they developed this thing. They took it off Ubuntu because apparently Mark Reeves had a vision to do this, to move it to Debian and to put the XFC on it. So they call this dedicated edition to him, not only because he died, but because it's his vision to do this. So yeah, so anyway, they did that, and they also felt like they'd be more stable base because then they had more time between releases to do more developing. As a matter of fact, it's almost like a Debian rolling release, more so than even it's like, not is, but like. They don't like to call it rolling release. They like to call it something else. Here was the other name they call it, but anyway, is they don't expect to have to do massive updates every time the new release comes out of Debian, but they're gonna have it to where they update it, upgrade it as you go, type thing. So, any rate, Barco said did not feel like a stable base on top of which to customize. The i3 version of Fedora last release. Always good to see more tiling window manager release C. Yeah. Yeah, I like to use Awesome Window Manager myself. And yeah. So yeah, which I installed Awesome Window Manager on the Peppermint version, so I've installed it on Debian before. And it works pretty good out of the box. And I actually it's a version of Awesome that the config files and all those files, all those were from Arco Linux, which I stole them, so to speak. So I kind of liked it. And I just, every time I put a new distro on this computer, I install Arch on it. I mean, not Arch, but I install Awesome on it, and then I put those config files into there. And I just have to go through setups and make sure all the programs are on there, and if there aren't, adjust them whichever way they need to go. So, yeah. And I also see they have an awesome window manager for Manjaro, which I intended to use that at some point and maybe do a deal on it. Okay, right now Larry says on Slackware 15.0.i3 gaps. Yeah, i3. Yeah, and I like Manjaro's. Was Manjaro do this? Manjaro's version of i3 because I like the dynamic tiling where you don't have to put other keys to go different directions. I think the default for i3, I don't remember if it was Arco Linux did this or Manjaro or what. But anyway, one of them had it to where it did the master stack version of it. And I haven't been able to see that. Most of them have been like you have to if you wanted to do master stack, you have to hit one and then hit horizontal, and then the rest of them are horizontal until you go vertical again. But yeah, so window managers and that kind of thing. So anyway, I had Peppermint on here, and I'm thinking of installing something different on it, and I don't remember what it was, so maybe I won't. But I'll probably remember later on what it was I installed here. My short-term memory's not as good as it used to be, let's put it that way. Yeah, so. Oh, OpenSUSE, that's what I was going to install OpenSUSE on there. I had on there, but before I didn't use Gnome Gnome boxes. It wouldn't run no boxes on OpenSUSE. I don't know why. Just wouldn't do it. And so I had to use something different. Peppermint was my choice at the time. And I don't know if I'm going to replace it because it's a little bit of work. Because it's kind of a more complicated setup over there. But yeah, I would use Slackware. I could use Slackware with Nix on it, but not using. I don't have time to figure out all how to work on dependencies on there and admin, that kind of thing. Slack stacking is i3 window manager's killing feature. Slack extra space desktop. Yeah. Stacking, yeah, there's all sorts of, I kind of like master stack personally. Because I only open up about 2, at the most 3 windows on most things anyway. So i3 would be good for me. I could just do another workspace when I need more windows. That's what I would do. So I've opened SUSE, and it's kind of, I've used my testing desktop up here. Desktop. And I have an old laptop over down on the floor that I use for testing too. And installed OpenSUSE on it, and thinking that maybe we'll do that next week if Linux doesn't have an option for an alternate distro they're going to look at. Because I think OpenSUSE is it's a good one. I don't think it seemed like we did it recently, but I can't find it in my archives. I've got some old, like a year ago, couple of old files on it. I actually watched first time I watched YouTube videos, one of those YouTube videos that say 10 tricks to use the command line and speed up your workflow type thing. I think TechHut did it, and I thought, well, I'll watch it, but I know I'll probably know most of them. I only knew one or two of them. So I actually learned a few things. One is kind of handy. So I don't know if you noticed it, but here I'll see real quick what I'm talking about. So video here. Okay. So say you run a command like DNF install whatever, OBS Studio. I'm not really going to install it, but I'm going to show you the example I'm talking about. If this was going to tell you, this command has been run with super user privileges on root user on most systems. So that's saying you want sudo on there. So I thought, well, what's it going to do? Sudo, and then it runs it. See? Put sudo, and it goes, just put 2 exclamation marks on it, and then it automatically puts sudo DNF and OBS Studio. Type sudo on the beginning of it, and then you do that. Then you enter password, and you go on and install it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool in it. So I don't usually forget it on sudo DNF, but a lot of commands will be typed along and I'll forget to put sudo on the beginning of it. Rather than going pulling up, otherwise you gotta go back, then you gotta hit home, or that's also something if you use Control A goes beginning, Control E goes in. And another one that he shows you wherever you have the cursor, if you Control U, erase everything in front of the cursor. It's pretty cool. So those are some of the things. Go check out his video. Tell him I sent you. And Tech Hut, and there's some like 10 tricks for the, and I think it's Tech Hut. I don't know. Anyway, look for 10 tricks. Now I think about it, I don't think it was anybody seen before. So I just look for 10 tricks to speed up workflow in terminal or something along those lines. That's the name of it. You can find more little tricks like that. Anyway, some of them were like tricks that would be C matrix. Like I don't know. No, that was a Tech Hut thing using C matrix. So anyway. Oh, yeah. For I was in the control. Okay, I'm locked in here apparently. I'll be on this minute. Hey, there I am. I was locked off of another workspace trying to get that fixed up before we go. So anyway, let's see. Stacking is a yeah. So anyway, we'll kill this, and I think oh yeah, I got FerrinOS on my wife's laptop. I got Peppermint on my son's gaming desktop out of the living room, which has a dedicated NVIDIA driver on it. So I had to install the driver on that manually, since I don't think there's any easy way to install it on Debian on Peppermint at least. But I was successful in doing it. And I got my mom's old Dell 3100 that I inherited when she died back in 2016. It's made in 2004, I think, or 2007, something like that. And anyway, yeah, it's got 500 megabytes of memory in it. And I made a server out of it and uh, installed Debian on it, and I used 60 megabytes of memory approximately. Not bad, huh? So it leaves some for doing pictures. I have it where you say you can connect to it and display pictures on your thing using Shotwell. And I also have a MPD music Damien player playing on it. So you can play music in the living room. You can control it from any computer in the house that has Cantata on it, or any music Damien player you want. So yeah, so my son has rooted on his desktop, his laptop, his gaming laptop. It's a hybrid. It's got an NVIDIA driver on it and a dedicated Intel GPU on it. So I have that set up so it works pretty good. Yeah, and that's one of the things. Groot is one of the few, if you install it, it detects there's NVIDIA drivers in the hybrid situation. It installs the NVIDIA driver actually and creates a hybrid situation for it. So it'll switch between either one. Pretty easy. You have to reboot if you switch between one of them. Otherwise, use it on hybrid and it'll use the Intel GPU until it needs to use the NVIDIA driver. So pretty good. So, yeah. If someone wonders why I close my eyes like this half the time, because of Parkinson's, basically. I think that's pretty much what it is now. I used to attribute it to my cataract surgery, but I don't think it's due to that. It's due to Parkinson's, because it didn't start immediately after cataract surgery, but it started after a while. I remember when I moved 2018 when I moved to Colorado that it was doing that much, but here in the last year or so, it seems like I'm gonna close my eyes all the time due to dry or something like that. Maybe might be more of a symptom of dry than Parkinson's, but on the caregiver my wife is on, she does talk about how the she does talk about how the people there talk about how their spouse, Parkinson's spouse, always closes their eyes a lot. So must be a trend. So at any rate, yeah, that's why I have this kind of weird talking. I have to talk louder while I have the gain turned up so high on this microphone. Because, yeah, Parkinson's. He used to have a clear voice. If you're interested in hearing me with my voice before it sounded like before this. Yeah. Of course, dentures didn't help either, but at least they helped me to eat. So anyway, we'll call it a day and a night, and we'll see everybody next time. Now we do have Linux Saloon at 8 o'clock Eastern Time over on Destination Linux setup. And we do have the Steve's very own. He's going to be producing in a, let's see, Cedar. Yeah, he's got a Sunday morning show that he usually does, so hopefully I usually, since I go to church and church it covers part of that time period, I usually am able to get on and be there for a part of his show, but I can't usually zoom in on him and stuff like that unless I'm free that Sunday for whatever reason. Now I'm treasurer of the church too, so I gotta be there more often. So, yeah. So I'll find out more about that as I go along. But anyway, thanks for everybody showing up today. And I hope everybody enjoyed this. Look at Fedora 36. Maybe you want to use it when it comes out. Find out. Probably do another review, but I probably do it as uploaded video, upload feed section whenever Fedora 36 actually comes out. Is a stable release version of it. I can see we want to fix the background stuff thing like that. I'm sure they will. Nobody leave that sitting there. It's too obvious of a bug or a problem. So anyway, thanks everybody for showing up, and I will see y'all next week. We'll do this all again. Until then, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.